Twin City Sports Talk. I'm excited. This is our first Vikings offseason blueprint because, yes, the offseason is upon us. The Vikings did not win the Super Bowl this year, for anyone that doesn't know. Again, we've covered it. Weird year for the Vikings, but I'm excited. We're going to be going through a lot of these offseason blueprints, and each time we do it, it's going to have a different feel. And I'll tell you, the one that I've prepared for today is more of like exactly how I would do it. This is everything how I would do the offseason for the Minnesota Vikings if I was in Kwesi's chair. It would be all that I want. But some of them we're going to go, what if the kind of like themes between each one? We're going to load up on draft picks on one, or maybe trade draft picks away to acquire players, or anything that we can think of, really. Anything that's different. Maybe we do one where we go trade for a Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow. There's a lot of different things we can do and a lot of different things we will do because these are going to be fun. It's going to be the whole entire blueprint consists of maybe coaching changes, not really like the small named guys like our each position coach, but Brian Flores, Josh McCown, Kevin O'Connell, and then like GM with like Kwesi and some of the guys up top. Stuff about them for sure. But it's mainly we are going to go through everything all through the draft. And then at the end of every blueprint, it'll be a mock draft that we do, which I'll get to later. But we're going to be going through everyone that's let go by the team, everyone that's cut, traded, whatever we think in that specific episode. And again, this episode, this blueprint number 1 is everything that I would do in the front office. So this is all Bruce Kramer's idea. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get to it. But first, there was the Wolves versus Heat game last night. We made predictions on it. By we, I mean me and Jack. As you can see here, I had the Wolves losing, which ended up being completely wrong. Jack had the Wolves winning, so there we go for him. Neither of us got our player predictions. Anyway, it puts our record, my record, up to 37-27, and then Jack's up to 15-15. Trevor on the very right is sitting at 17-12 with 4 points. I'm at 11 points, and Jack's at 6 points. The points category consisting of just the player predictions, that's a point. And then if you get the score right of the game, that's another point. We've got a few score ones, but you get more points depending on what game it is. Hockey's a lot easier to predict than basketball for score. So you get more points for these basketball games. Either way, wanted to get through that pretty quick because I've been very excited about this all day. Running through off-season blueprint number 1. And what I'll start with is the important dates, okay? So, and a few rules that the NFL you have to follow in the offseason for a team. One of them is being the salary cap for teams. Obviously, right now the Vikings are about 18, I think, million under the cap, so they're in the negative. The Saints last year were 100 million under the cap going into the offseason. They were in just a absolutely crazy spot, to be honest. Either way, right now the Vikings are under, but you have to have it even or in the positives by the new league year, not January 1st, but the new league year is always just the middle of March. And this year it's expected to be March 11th with the tampering window opening on March 9th. Okay, so we're going to have to make some cuts. We're going to have to make definitely a few moves because actually I way underestimated. I'm sorry. We are $45 million under the cap right now going into next season. So a lot of stuff to figure out there, and I'll get to it. But that's the main rule. Free agency, that period opens up March 11th. It's the day that the new league year opens. That's when free agency that's when you can sign guys. That's the first day. That's when all hell breaks loose in the NFL. And then the big date is the draft is April 23rd this year. Obviously 3 days. So the 23rd through the 25th in Pittsburgh. And I'll say Green Bay, they put on a show last year with their draft. That was fun to watch. It was super entertaining, to be honest. It was really fun. Either way, though, NFL Combine is February 23rd through March 2nd. We'll have content about literally all of that. The free agency, combine, and the draft. Of course, the draft. But either way, those are your dates. Right now, we're going to start just going at it. I think step one in the Vikings offseason, you need to re-sign Brian Flores. All right. So Brian Flores is basically the biggest key right now for your defense. It's kind of what held this Vikings team to a 9-8 record this year. The offense didn't do their part. The defense did theirs by far. I mean, you had a shot at the playoffs. I mean, not a shot within the last 5 weeks because you won the last 5, but you were a half game out of the playoffs is what I mean. And that's all based on Brian Flores, literally every single piece of it. And honestly, right now, as of 1 hour ago, he does not have any head coach interviews lined up, 0. And then obviously the John Harbaugh firing happened last night, I think. And he, I think an hour or 45 minutes after, I think Schefter, or maybe it was someone else, but someone reported that he had 7 teams call him in that 45-minute window after he was reportedly fired. And which is interesting because there's not 7 teams with a head coaching position open. So there's like 1 or 2 teams that have their head coach right now that are still calling. So you could say they're cheating on their coach right now. We don't know who those teams are. We don't know. I mean, obviously the teams that already fired a coach would be the other teams that called him, but it's interesting to think that other teams with a coach already are calling without firing their coach in any way right there. But the positive thing right here, Brian Flores, no head coaching interviews right now. I want the best for the guy, but if the Vikings want to compete next year, Brian Flores has to be your defensive coordinator. So that is step one in our first offseason blueprint. All right. Now we're going to get to the retirements. 2 of them, obviously, this won't change probably until we hear anything. CJ Ham, based on the locker room speech, he's done. CJ Ham, thank you for everything. But yeah, he's done. CJ made it very clear he's got to be with his family now. Harry's going to leave the door open. That's just what he is. He's more of a quiet guy. I think the speculation is he's done. I mean, he got all of the celebratory measures in the last 2 games at home there. It's good that he got to finish his career with 2 home games and 2 big wins. Either way, Harry, thanks again. I said it in the last couple episodes, but Harry and CJ Ham are gone. 2 big names in the Vikings franchise for a while. All right. Retirement's out of the way. All right. We are going to get to our cuts. And now I'm going to pop this on the screen right here. This is a calculator, basically. And up here you can see 45 million, and this is our 2026 payroll. Basically, we are $45 million over the cap. Our cap for the year of 2026 is $310 million, $803,390. It's a lot of money. We are fighting $45 million over that. So before the new league year, the Vikings need to make cuts. They need to make sure their cap is sitting at 0 or in positivity there. Either way, I have 4 cuts. We're going to need to make 4. These are notable cuts, and one of them is controversial. So first of all, we are going to go down right here to Javon Hargrave. Okay. Basically, if you cut him, you get about $11 million of the money back, and that drops us down to 34. So you clear, and here's the thing, Javon Hargrave didn't do anything this year for us. Nothing really special. Had a few sacks, but nothing worth the $22 million you were paying him. Okay, and here's the thing. I'll get to I'm completely free. Jonathan Allen, sorry. I'll get to Jonathan Allen later if I keep him or cut him or maybe a restructure, but our defensive interior line right now is deep. Jalen Redmond, Levi Drake Rodriguez. You do not need a Javon Hargrave. You can even go get another one in the draft, okay? Hargrave, you are the first cut, and I don't feel sorry about it because that's it. It has to happen. It has to happen. Next one, this is a weird one because I have a feeling he might retire either way. Ryan Kelly, you kind of signed a 2-year deal, but the second year being a mutual option type thing here. You are gone. You are gone. That clears about $8 million. $8 million right here. So just with Ryan Kelly and Hargrave, you cleared $20 million basically of your cap hit right there. Hargrave, Kelly, both are gone. Okay. Next one is maybe some people would be upset about this. Aaron Jones. Okay. Aaron Jones, not a lot. He's always injured. It's just you get good stretches out of him. But it's not sustainable in any way. Aaron Jones, if you cut him, you free up another $8 million from next year's cap, and it's needed because you need to be even by the new league year. So that one is very needed right there. I did not mean to do that. Aaron Jones, I'm sorry, but here's the thing. Jordan Mason next year on a cheaper contract. The Vikings are 98% sure they're going to draft a running back, and if they don't, that's a huge shock to basically everyone, including me, including everyone. They're going to draft a running back, and now it'll be Jordan Mason and that rookie. So Aaron Jones, we don't really have a place for you here, okay? Just as simple and easy as that. All right, this one I got to explain in depth here. TJ Hawkinson, you are cut, which that clears another $9 million. And TJ Hawkinson, it's not like he's too old. This was his 7th year. TJ Hawkinson, after that injury against the Lions in 2023, has never looked the same. He had, I don't know actually how many drops he had this year, but he dropped way too many passes from JJ McCarthy and others. And he has been a bad pass blocker and run blocker in a lot of situations. TJ Hawkinson, I'm sorry, and here's where I got to get into depth with it. We are going to try to trade TJ Hawkinson. We need to. But here's the thing. For a guy that's aging, it's a tough position to play in the NFL. It is. For a guy that's aging and he can't move like he did a few years ago, he's just not as great of a threat. He is paid top 5 money for tight end position. I mean, he's getting paid $21 million next year. Okay. And oh, by the way, if anyone's wondering, this all accounts for dead money, for guaranteed money and everything. That's why he is getting paid $21 million next year, but we still have to pay $12 million of that if we were to cut him. But you would be getting $8 to $9 million, this bottom line under his category right here. You would be getting that off of it, that where you could spend anywhere else there. But Hawkinson, if you can eat half of a contract, maybe you could get a trade for him and get a 6th round pick. I think a 6th or 7th round pick is the most you'll get for him, to be completely honest. And I really want to do that. I'm just going to cut him for now because I don't think any team's going to want that contract on a guy who hasn't been reliable for a whole year now. I mean, this year was hard to watch with TJ. Either way, TJ Hawkinson, I'm sorry, but you are gone. So that all in total cleared up about $36 million of the cap. All right. And as you can see up here, we still have $9 million to go to come out clean or even. And that's where we're going to go down to Jonathan Allen. Okay. We signed Jonathan Allen this past offseason in the big free agency class. We signed him. He's going to be getting paid $21 million next year. This is where we are going to restructure Jonathan Allen to give him about 13 to 14 million. Okay. That takes off 6 million, 7 million, and he's 31 years old. Next year will be his 10th year in the NFL. If he wants to go other places instead of restructuring, we can deal with that either way. But as you can see right here, this will be the one big restructure. One that you could talk about is maybe Brian O'Neill, because he's getting paid a lot of money too. But Jonathan Allen is the big one here. You got to restructure that, and you need to probably keep, because you can't just go into next year with Redmond, Levi, Drake, Rodriguez, and then a rookie. You would ideally have either Hargrave or Allen, and I'd rather have Allen by a long shot. This is doable. You just took off, like I said, the remaining like $8 million. And so now you're barely under the cap. And why it's so important to get under that cap is because the league penalizes teams for not getting under the cap and not taking that seriously by taking away draft picks and big fines, like $1 million fines, if teams don't cooperate here. So it's very important that you get even. And so that's the next move: restructure Jonathan Allen and pay him about $14 million next year. It's a big pay cut in terms of like NFL salary terms, but I think it's doable, and I think he would be fine doing that because this year the production wasn't there either. Him and Hargrave didn't show anything. It was really Jalen Redmond on the inside there. All right, we're going to get to some of our moves on just our unrestricted free agents, guys that are going to be in the free agent market here. So I'll read through most of them here. It's Fabian Moreau, Carson Wentz, Eric Wilson, Rondale Moore. I feel like people probably forgot we got him. Jeff Okudah, Tavera Thomas, Ivan Pace, Jalen Naylor, CJ Ham, but he's retired. Jalen Redmond, Justin School, Matt Nelson, Andrew DePaula, Ryan Wright, Ty Chandler, Ben Sims, Brett Rippon, John Wolford, Xavier Scott, and Bo Richter. Okay. First off, we're going to tender 3 players. The first one, you could sign Jalen Redmond to an extension, but we're just going to tender him for $1 million, keep him here next year on a cheap contract because you need to do that. Plain and simple right there. Tender Jalen Redmond. Next one, you're going to go down to Xavier Scott because if we, in this case, we cut Aaron Jones, Xavier Scott will tender you for $1 million. He's been reliable. He's a great receiving back too. Great receiving back. And then the last one, just a great special teams guy. Tender Bo Richter. This is the same amount he was getting last year. Well, a little bit more because it has to be like that with tenders. Either way, you tender those 3 guys, and that is all we will be doing tender-wise. What a weird sentence I'm saying. Just tender-wise, it seems weird. Either way. All right. Next, we're going to re-sign 4 players, like actually re-sign them. And you know what? I completely forgot about something. All right, let me back up because this is the re-signing stage. These guys are going to test out free agency. This will come after the new league year. But before the new league year, the main part to get back under this cap space and to get even, this is a big one. I can't believe I forgot about this. You're going to take Jordan Addison, and you are going to trade Jordan Addison, and that puts you even, okay? Jordan Addison will be traded, and as you can see up here, the number is no longer red. We are even. We are above the salary cap by getting off of his $4 million, and technically it's only $2 million we got away, but that's enough. Jordan Addison in this hypothetical trade will be traded to the Buffalo Bills. You will package a 3rd round pick. The Twins. The Vikings have 2 3rd-round picks with them right now, one of them being a compensatory pick from Sam Darnold, but one of them, and I think I chose 97, will be sent to the Bills. Those 2, a draft pick and Jordan Addison for their 1st-round pick, the 24th overall pick. This is realistic. This could happen. The Bills do not have a legit receiving threat. And if they take Addison's 5th-year option, they could have him for 2 years here. Okay, so Jordan Addison, boom, you are gone, and the cap space is now clear. And this is when we would enter that free agency stage. And now I can get to these 3 players that I will re-sign. And the first one is Jalen Naylor, because as you obviously just saw, we traded Jordan Addison. Okay, so we need a wide receiver too. And this also means you will probably be drafting a wide receiver. And then maybe Ty Felton gets more time too. But guess what? Jalen Naylor, we are going to extend. We're going to give him 11 right now in his market. It says, I think it said 8 to 10 million is what, 8 to 12 million. It's somewhere in there that he's going to get. I think 11 million will get it done. 3 years. I can't do the years here for whatever reason, but Jalen Naylor, you re-sign 11 million per year, 3 years, $33 million contract for Naylor. You get him here until he's 30. And he's going to be your wide receiver too, right behind Justin Jefferson. And he earned it this year. He had a few bad drops, specifically in that Giants game and a few earlier in the year, but he earned his way. And he's stayed healthy now for the most part last year and this year. Jalen Naylor, 3-year deal. All right, next guy, the guy I've just loved watching all year, Eric Wilson. You are going to give, he is projected to get like a smaller linebacker salary here, which basically just means I'm going to give him $4,500,000. Okay. That didn't register like I wanted it to. Oh, I forgot to put the M. My bad. 4.5 million. This would be a 1-year deal. He is 32 years old, but he showed a lot. And again, I think the only way he comes back is if Brian Flores comes back, which guess what? Brian Flores is here in this scenario. We did re-sign Brian Flores. We extended him. So here we go. Eric Wilson is back. And then the last one is, well, actually it's 2 more, but these ones are pretty easy real quick. You extend Ryan Wright for 2 years, you give him $1 million, and you can't back that down. It's pretty simple there. He's a punter. He's not going to be making much more than that. Maybe $1 million and 200,000. Doesn't matter. But him and Andrew DePaula, okay, both of them will be re-signed. So here we go. There's 3 tenders: Jalen Redmond, Xavier Scott, Bo Richter. But then Jalen Naylor, Eric Wilson, Ryan Wright, Andrew DePaula will be saved from the free agency window. Okay. And that's that. All right. And then we are going to get to our next bit right here. Well, what am I going here? Okay. Everyone that we're just letting walk, I'll read through the list. Fabian Moreau, gone. Carson Wentz, gone. Rondale Moore, gone. Jeff Okudah, gone. Taveri Thomas, maybe he could stay, but just for special teams purposes, but right now gone. Ivan Pace Jr., gone. That's a big one. Ivan will be gone. He got his spot overtaken by Eric Wilson this year, and Blake Cashman's on the team next year. Blake Cashman, Eric Wilson, and maybe draft a guy too will be in the running for a linebacker for sure in the draft. But Ivan Pace, sorry, bud, you're gone. CJ Ham is retired. Justin School, Matt Nelson, gone. Ty Chandler is gone. Ben Sims is staying. I forgot to mention that. Ben Sims is staying, especially after trading or cutting TJ Hawkinson. Brett Rippon, John Wolford, you're gone. So the rest of these guys on this list are gone. And now, obviously, going into next year, we will be under the cap again. But it's all right, because guess what? Next year, you're fine. In 2027 right now, you have $60 million above this cap. So even with this stuff, it's not too big of a deal, to be completely honest with you. Either way, that is everything to do with the Vikings. We're going to move on to the free agency aspect and then the draft. And obviously, so now you kind of know your team. You're going to be going into the free agency, kind of looking for 2 positions, maybe 3. A quarterback, a backup offensive lineman, like a swing tackle to kind of replace Justin School, because School, he was bad. He was really bad the time that he got in this year. But then if you can find the right deal, I think you sign a corner, and the Vikings are undoubtedly going to be shopping for corners in the draft. They also have a lot of draft picks to work with in that category. They will be shopping for a corner, but for right now, you can see if you can find a cheap deal for maybe a hidden guy in free agency. But either way, we're going to get to that in a second. And then other things, the draft, I have 5 positions they'll be going for 100%. Tight end, running back, corner, safety, and then wide receiver. And then probably a center in there too, because I don't know how much they trust Juergens or not. It's tough to say. But either way, we're going to get to our free agency aspect of it right now. Like I said, backup quarterback, the Vikings already expressed interest in bringing in a veteran to shadow or go with JJ McCarthy here, and almost maybe even have it as a training camp little battle here. who can be the QB1 here? Which it's a good question. It really is. It really is. But there's two guys that I've picked out, and one of them isn't set to be a free agent yet, but he most likely will be, and I think people already know what I'm talking about. It's Kirk Cousins. Kirk, obviously familiar with Kevin O'Connell, very much. Kirk, in the quarterback show, I saw that he actually never wanted to leave Minnesota. It was the drafting a quarterback aspect of it. Either way, this is his home. I think he's probably going to live here or Michigan, wherever he's from, or wherever he likes to live. But I know he likes it here. He would be happy to sign here, probably for $8 to $10 million, maybe like what Aaron Rodgers wanted from us this past offseason. Obviously, we didn't give it to him, but Kirk Cousins is the obvious one. I think that's the number one guy that the Vikings could pursue there. But one that I thought of and one that I looked deeper into, Mitchell Trubisky. Okay, stick with me here. Trubisky's been, quote unquote, the bust, a bust. But do you really think that if JJ gets hurt, which history says that JJ will get hurt again sometime next year, depending on if it's serious or not, do you really think Mitchell Trubisky couldn't carry out Kevin O'Connell's offense? I mean, so many times here. Nick Mullins, Sam Darnold, all of these vets, all of these guys that have been in the league that have ran NFL offenses before have been able to run Kevin O'Connell's offense. And Mitchell Trubisky, he has a heck of an arm. He has mobility, which he can use sometimes, but he's going to throw the ball. He's not scared of it. I mean, he came into the Bills game like a week or two ago, I'm pretty sure. And well, I think he played the entire last week because they didn't have much to play for. Either way, the dude has been a great backup for the Bills, very reliable for them. He has the experience, and here's the thing. He's sat behind Josh Allen now and Sean McDermott, one of the better coaches in the NFL. Mitchell Trubisky, I think, would be a great one. I think you could get him for $3 to $4 million. He's been a backup for 4 or 5 years now, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember my exact years there, but I don't think he got a start. If I'm remembering correctly, he didn't have a starting job after he left the Bears, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I needed to look into that more. But Mitchell Trubisky, I would love it. I would love Kirk too, but Mitch would be a cheaper option because obviously the money's tight. You don't want to go too far under the cap because that just means more cuts being made next year. Either way, either one of those would be just a one-year deal. 90% sure of that. But the Vikings will sign a veteran quarterback. I'm not going to say who. Actually, you know what? For this, I'll say Kirk. So that's another $8 million added on. So then you're sitting at right about $20 million under the cap there going into next season. But then I'll get to the backup offensive tackle. You need a swing guy. You have a Blake Brandel. You have a Walter Rouse in the system now. But two guys that I would like, veterans, and Andres Pete and Trenton Scott. Both have been reliable for teams they've been on. They've been starters in their career. They're both like 10-year veterans, I'm pretty sure, or right around it. Either way, I'd love either one of those guys. And both are very cheap options. It's just like the Justin Schools situation. You can just get one of those guys that can come in and produce at least a little bit. And then I do have us signing a quarter. In this rendition of Vikings blueprint, offseason blueprint, I do have us signing a corner. And it's a guy familiar with the area. He went to the University of the Minnesota Golden Gate. Corner Benjamin St-Juste, okay? He's been the Redskins Commanders corner. I don't know if he was on the team when the Skins were the name, whatever. Messed that up. Don't care. St-Juste has been a reliable guy. He just had a great year with the Chargers, okay? Kind of a rejuvenation year. The Chargers defense has been nasty all year, but he's had a great step, a few picks, a couple of great pass defenses, but he's a tall, lengthy corner. In the Commanders game in 2022, most people would remember Justin Jefferson being lined up on him basically the whole game, and St-Juste had a good game. I know JJ had that catch in the corner of the end zone on a fade, but not much you can do against the best receiver in the NFL. I'm not going to blame him for that. But my point with this is you could get St-Juste for a 1-year, $3.5 million deal when free agency comes. And here's the thing. Yeah, the Vikings are not going to be very active in the free agent market this year at all. And people need to realize that and kind of come to expect it because, well, we are way under the cap. We can't afford to do it again this year like we did last year. But a 1 year, $3.5 million deal, I think, is very doable. I think it would be great to draft a guy in the early rounds and then also, like I said, sign Benjamin, because having that little competition for the third corner spot, because obviously you still have Byron Murphy Jr. and then Isaiah Rodgers leading into the year next year, which is all just great. I think that would work a lot. I think it'd work great. Have that kind of battle for the third spot there. So Benjamin St. Juste, that would be our last free agent pickup. So a backup quarterback, one backup offensive tackle, and then one very cheap corner. That is all for the free agency period. It's going to be a boring offseason that in that standard for the Vikings this offseason here. But here we go. The part I'm most excited about, mock draft time. Okay. Now this is the website I have found to be the most accurate. I know I'm going to bite my tongue and it's just going to have the Raiders pick like Jeremiah Love first overall or go all the way down for like a Ty Simpson or something like that. No, this is what seems to be the most accurate in my opinion. I mean, mostly about everything I do in the draft. I've ran through it a few times just to see. Mostly every pick that's happened, I'd agree with. So either way, we're going to start it. We're going through all 7 rounds. Once we get to the later rounds, I'll start to kind of skim through it more and more. Either way, right now, I need to find where to trade for picks because we said we were getting the gosh dang next pick from the Bills. I got to figure that out. Let me see here. All right. Yeah, I think I got this ready now. Either way, as you see, Vikings at 18 and 24 now that we've traded Jordan Addison and our 97th overall pick to the Bills. Obviously in here you can't like trade the players from the teams for like the realistic aspect of that. So I ended up trading draft picks from next year, but that don't matter. That didn't happen in real life. Don't worry, Vikings fans. Either way, we're going to go through it pretty quick here. I'm just going to let it roll here because right now we're not going to worry about trading up unless like a Jeremiah Love is sitting there at like 15 or something. Maybe I'll stop it, but I'll stop it when it gets to 10 here so we can kind of go over it. Oh, look at that. So the Ravens actually traded up with the Chiefs, took Peter Woods. Yeah, let me stop it here. All right, first overall, Mendoza, Dante Moore, Arvell Reese, Spencer Fano, Francis, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, Ruben Bain dropping to the Saints at 8. I haven't seen that yet. He hasn't dropped that late. Peter Woods, Caleb Downs at 10 to the Bengals. What a pick by them. Ty Simpson. There goes Jeremiah Love. That's very realistic to the Cowboys. Jermod McCoy. There's our guy, Kenyon Sadiq, dropping to 14. Sonny Styles is another guy we've talked about here. So right now, definitely sitting on a corner. We'll see who the Lions pick. So they do choose Mansour Delane. I think you don't really think past it here. Avion Terrell is the best corner available. I would take him. And obviously, we have Caden Proctor here, kind of an offensive lineman wizard. He can move all over the place here. Mikaela Moan from USC, one of the top receivers in the draft. He is seriously very tempting. I really like the receiver depth in this draft, though. In the second round, we could probably go snag Chris Brazel, Chris Bell, also from Louisville. Also, like KC Concepcion is going to be down there. Yep, he's right here. Even Denzel Boston from Washington, too. Yeah, a lot of different guys. I think for the Vikings right now, I think you got to take a corner. I think we got to take Avion Terrell. And if people don't know, this is AJ Terrell's brother, Falcons cornerback. Actually, let's look through our trade requests. Philly gets 18. We get, okay, that's actually not bad. I'm gonna look at this real quick. We would get 23, so we would have back-to-back picks. Um, that's not bad at all, to be completely honest. Not horrible. Because we would get 23 and then 50. I'm going to reject this one, but on the screen here, Philly trying to trade up with us, 23 and then 54. I also love Colton Hood out of Tennessee. He's a great corner, super fast, chippy, great on the line. Yeah, there's definitely a few here. I think you have to stick and pick as much as another second round pick goes. I like it, but right now, sorry Philly, we're gonna hang up the phone on you, and we are gonna take our guy, Avion Terrell. All right, Vikings select Terrell, and we'll keep going here, and we're not gonna stop it here until it gets to our pick. There goes Lamone. All right, Philly takes David Bailey. All right, this is an interesting slot right here for sure. Second pick in the first round. This is the pick that we got from the Jordan Addison trade, and we have 3 trade offers here. I'm only going to look at ones that are for this year, like picks we would get in this draft. LA wants the 24th. We would move down to 29, and then we'd also get 61. And you see this a lot. People who get 2 draft picks in the first round, you use one and stick and pick there, and then you can maybe have the freedom to trade down there. And to be completely honest, I am not as huge of a fan on Denzel Boston as some people. I I don't see a ton of flash. I think he can be still good. I definitely like Concepcion better. Cassius Howell is a very intriguing edge too, along with Anthony Hill in the linebacker position. But to be completely honest, I think for me, I would take either I honestly would probably take Chris Bell or Chris Brazel over Denzel Boston. In my opinion, I would. And here, so we would drop down to 29. Drop down 5 picks. So they would be giving us their top 2 picks. Obviously, we'd get another second pick. This definitely an interesting one. I'm stuck here. I honestly am having troubles deciding on this. You can pass on CJ Allen, Ugalele, you can pass on Concepcion. I mean, the Bears, they don't need a receiver. The Niners would be probably in the realm there. Texans, not as much really. Browns, probably, but then you would be down here. You got 4 teams. I guess the Rams, too. The Rams could be coming up to get Boston. I think I'm actually going to take this. All right. The Rams, we drop down 5 spots. And again, we already have a first round pick. But either way, this is fun. I love this. I can't wait to do this more. So yeah, the Rams did take Denzel Boston. Ooh, big reach there. So Caden McDonald from Ohio State goes to the Bears. All right, Casey Concepcion goes to the Falcons, and then Ugalele goes to the Browns. And here we go, Vikings at 29. We have more trade offers. The only one that is applying for this year is the Titans. Here we would drop down 6 and then get pick 66. So you drop down 6 picks to the Titans at 35. This is definitely interesting. Definitely interesting, to say the very least. Because I am, maybe people can call me biased because everyone knows I am a big Vols fan, but Chris Brazel is just impressive no matter what. Okay, the dude is a great deep threat downfield, super fast, chippy off the line. He has great hands. I love Brazel, I really do. I also like Chris Bell, but I mean the one that I would really love is Cassius Howell. Although edge wasn't on my big board to start, it was corner, running back, safety, and then there's a lot that we could do here. Definitely a lot. One other guy, Dylan safety out of Oregon. That's one guy that I've had my eye on a lot, and I think that would be a great pick too. Oh man, all right. I gotta think about it again. So the Titans 29, we'd get 35, we drop 6. Cassius Howell would go, Anthony Hill would go, Caleb Banks would probably go. I don't know about CJ Allen. He probably would go in this draft here, but if I'm looking, here's the thing. I will accept this trade. I will, because I have a plan. And here's the thing. Kwesi, I don't want you to get too cute. This isn't what I'm saying. But if you can get 2 second-round picks like I'm about to do, all right, Tennessee. Let's see what you can do. They did pick CJ Allen. But if you can get 2 picks in the first round and then get the one to turn into 2 or 3 in the second round, I would do it. If you really are not really stuck on the idea of, I guess, picking the raw talent right there, Arizona, they could. Oh man, this is going to be close. Chris Bell. Okay, so Chris Bell does go. That's what I was worried about. Either way, so again, recapping, we have Avion Terrell right now in the gun. We have another trade offer, but I don't think I can go off of this again. This one is definitely a no from the Bills. No, this is dropped down 12 spots. This one's only dropping down 2 spots, and we would get a 3rd or probably early 4th round pick. I think you do it. I think you know what? Yeah, I think we can do that. I tell you to not get too cute, but these teams are offering me, I'm going to accept. This is only go down 2 spots. If they pick Brazel here, I'm going to probably cry. So Colton Hood, corner goes, and then, all right, Kristen Miller. All right, we are not moving again. I don't care what these trade offers are. That was probably a good one from the Falcons, or from the Dolphins. But right here, you know what? We're gonna look at ours in a second. But right now, we are gonna draft Chris Brazel, wide receiver out of Tennessee. This is gonna be your wide receiver 3. He's a tall receiver. He's gonna do everything for you. He can do everything for you. Either way, let's go to my picks real quick. So we have 49, 61. We have 2 second-round picks. Actually, we'd have 3 total with the Chris Brazel pick. But then you still have a 3rd-round pick from one of those trades right there, and then a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 7th. And then actually on draft day, the Vikings should be getting another 7th-round pick from compensation pick. But either way, looking good right now. The only one I'm worried about now is Dylan Theinman. I'd love to get him. So maybe we can slow it down in a second. They're not going to be going for safety. They got Kyle Hamilton. The Bucks, they got Winfield. They did go corner with CC. Okay. Indianapolis. It's kind of weird how they don't have their logo right there. They shouldn't be going safety. They did not. Now, Houston, this one might scare me a bit. Dylan is the top guy on the board now, and it is a guy. You know what? I am going to swing a trade here. I'm going to try to. Houston, I want your 48. You can have 49, and then you can have a 6th-round pick here. Move up 1 spot. Actually, let's try a 7th. Slightly below, but the bar is high. Trade has been accepted. All right, perfect. Now we are taking Dylan Theinman with that next pick. That's awesome. That could not have worked any better, in my opinion. Couple trade offers here. We're going to get rid of those. Those were not great. Dylan, welcome. You are a Minnesota Viking. All right, next, what is our next pick here? We got 61, all right. So we got a little bit of a way to go here. But right now you got wide receiver, you got 2 secondary players in safety and corner. Now you can start thinking about running back if the right guy gets up there. There goes Joshua Josephs, one of my guys from Tennessee, and we are already up again. Julian Neal to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. All right, here's an interesting one. Jadarian Price. He is a fast kid. Great receiving back, too, from Notre Dame. Notre Dame had just a 2-headed monster this year in, obviously, Love and then Jadarian Price here. Running back, you got Justice Haynes is also not for sure committed yet. So that's kind of a weird one for sure. And I will say for tight ends wise, this is one of the other big ones that you need to go at get. I like Michael Trigg and Eli Stowers a ton. I like Eli Stowers just an absolute ton. If we could get him, which I will 100% be trying for no matter what, hopefully with that 82nd pick, but not something we have to worry about at the exact moment. Linebacker's another one. Jake Golday is good. There's a few good names on here that I would take. Some of those are tight ends. Never mind. Not edge. Linebackers. I like Lawson. I'd rather have Golday probably. Harold Perkins is another great option. Also, Arion Carter I like too. Jacob Rodriguez is very, very. It's close. I love both Jacob Rodriguez and then Harold Perkins, but we're going to need to keep a close watch on that. But for running back, I think Jadarian Price could be the move right now. Max Clare is probably going to go quick. Yeah, you know what? Well, first let's see these trades. No, I'm not going to accept any of those. They're dropping down too much. You just got to stick and pick at this point. Yeah, I am going to take Jadarian Price here. Now, you could wait for an Emmett Johnson or Nick Singleton, but I love Jadarius Price. A projected 4.440. I mean, four-star recruit from Denison High School, arrived in Notre Dame with serious credentials, having rushed for almost 5,000 yards and 55 touchdowns in his prep career. He's a beast. He's an absolute beast, and that's just the easiest way to put it. So yeah, Jadarian Price, you're a Viking. And now we pick again in 5 picks, so that's even better. Let's get to it. All right, we are up again. And now this is where, okay, so you kind of see Max Clare kind of maybe dropping in some eyes here. Could be interesting. Definitely could be interesting. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go towards the edge real quick because this is maybe a pick that I could trade back for sure. It's definitely something we could look at. Yeah, definitely something we could look at. That's too far. Dropping almost 30 picks there. Yeah, no. Indianapolis, no. The Saints, that's tempting actually. You would drop down 7. My only thing is I think I would want to take an edge rusher here because right now we have 66-82. And right now your biggest needs left, I'd say, are tight end and then linebacker. Linebacker and then tight end. But tight end, I want to get Eli Stowers. I really want to get Eli Stowers. I'll trade up for him if he's going to go somewhere kind of before us there. But maybe in this pick, we do take an edge. I think that could be a good play here. You don't want to reach too far. I think Zion Young would be nice. He's a beast. He really is. He's a fast dude. Look at that. So it's 44.740. Not phenomenal by any mean, but look at his frame. 6'5", 262 pounds with long arms. He has that reach. I know he's quick off the line. I haven't done a great scouting report on him yet. But I will say I'm pretty sure he had troubles with the sacks. I mean, he couldn't get home as much. But I don't know. I think honestly, I know Romello Height pretty well myself. We are gonna go with Height here. Okay. Sorry, Saints. We're good. Yeah, it could be a pull. We're pulling him a little bit early from when he's supposed to go. Unless there's a linebacker I want to look at real quick, but that would be a big pull. I'm eyeing Harold Perkins right now. I'm eyeing him up. I guess D-line we could look at too. Not really anyone special that I would look at there. Edge rusher, here we go. We're going to go Romello Height. All right. Perfect. And Max Clare goes to the Falcons. a Kyle Pitts replacement, as you will. All right, we're going to get down to it here. What do we got next? 82. Okay. Jonah Coleman, Zachariah Branch goes, Trevor Locke, Amar Cooper, Zion Young. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of surprising how far Justice Haynes fell right there. Very much surprises me. Now you're starting to see some more quarterbacks. I mean, Carson Beck sitting there. Tyreek Sapp is an interesting name for sure there. And maybe we should start looking at maybe an offensive tackle the later we get here. But now we're entered into round 3. We have a round 3, 4th, and 5th round pick now. Do we have any trade offers? That is a bit too far for me. That's about 24 spots back, was it? Trade with the Texans, that offer. All right, Eli Stowers is sitting there right now, along with Michael Trigg. Also, you got to look at linebackers now, because it's starting to get to that point. I am going to try to find okay, Philly's offering. Let's try to create a team. Who has a pick? What are we at right now? 82. Let's look for somewhere around 90. Whoever has a pick around 90, I think could be probably well worth it, in my opinion. Let's go Chiefs. Nope. No, I can't find a team around 90. What the heck? I can't find any team around 90. How is this possible? Rams. Okay, we'll do the Rams at 93. They take 93. We would obviously give them 82, and then we would also, let's say, want a 5th round pick. So there's 93. We would drop down 11 spots. You know what? I don't like that, actually. I'm going to drop it down a little bit. This goes in order. I just realized. I'm pretty sure. Oof, rusty, I guess. Definitely rusty. All right. We're going to go with the Bills, okay, because they also have a 2nd, 3rd round pick, the one that we gave them. They don't like that? Okay, we'll do a 3rd and a 4th. We'll see if they accept that. Trade rejected. Okay. We're going to go back to it here. Create trade. Go to the Bills. We're going to get 88. We're going to drop 6. Never mind. You know what? I keep going back and forth. We're going to 90 with the Niners, okay? They have 3 4th round picks. I already knew that coming in, so we're going to do that. Here, you know what? We'll throw in our 7th. Does that work for you guys? No, we'll throw in our 6th. Okay, so we give up 82. We drop to 90. We get a 4th round pick back for a 6. Let's see if they accept that. Trade accepted. Perfect. All right. So now we are picking in 6 slots. Let's go to all right here. I want Eli Stowers, great receiving tight end out of Vanderbilt. So he was easily Diego Pavia's favorite target. There goes Michael Trigg. And here we go. All right. Now on the big board, Eli Stowers. I think this is a no-brainer at the moment. Eli Stowers, you are a Viking. Love it. Great receiving tight end. Great body. He's fast. He is everything that you'd need at the tight end position right now. All right, next pick is 105, so we'll skip right to it. And obviously, we'll go through it real quick. Avion Terrell in the 1st, and then we had 3 2nd-round picks we accumulated. Chris Brazel, Dylan Theinman, and Jadarian Price. Romello Height, Edge, and Eli Stowers in the 3rd. All right, getting down to it here. Going quick. I don't like how quick it goes because I love doing this. Oh, and there goes Harold Perkins. That was one linebacker I had my eye on for sure. All right, Ravens take Jake Slaughter. Okay. All right, we're going to go straight to linebackers. I can't believe Jacob Rodriguez is that low ranked. I mean, he had Heisman aspirations this year. So that is very surprising in my opinion, like freakishly surprising in a lot of ways. Right now, so again, we have a running back, we have a tight end, receiver, corner, and safety. For linebackers' sakes, I'll take Rodriguez as late as we can get him, or Arion Carter. I love Carter too. I'll take either one. either of them later. But D-line, Mesidor, I know Zane Durant. This guy is also just a beefy, stocky dude. But, I mean, okay, look at that. 4.640, 6'1", 286 pounds. Dude's a big dude, but he can run. Athletic guy there. Anthony Smith is staying for the next year or so. Some of these not updated correctly yet. We could also look at some offensive tackles here. And honestly, I just want a big guy who can run in space and get in front of some. And I know Cage Casey can do that. I don't know a lot about Drew Shelton yet. Haven't done my scouting reports as much as I should have done yet, but I'm kind of waiting for the NFL and college football playoffs to be done. Then I can really get into the weeds of everything. Interior offensive line, Cade Piper there. He could be a good option here. Trade offer, that's way too low of a offer there. Let me see here. We're at 105. And then it's 138, so we got a little bit of a wait. But either way, we need a linebacker, and then this is questionable. This is definitely getting to it. I like Cage Casey a lot. Big guy, 6'5", 316 pounds. I know he's athletic. I know he can get upfield, and we're not going to move past it. Cage Casey out of Boise State. I love that. Love that pick a lot. Yeah, we'll get all of that going still, but linebacker again, we're going to be focused there, here. Yeah, one more round 4 pick, round 5, and then a 7th round pick. And then we are wrapped up. I don't think we're going to end up making any trades from now on. Maybe we draft a quarterback with that last pick. We will definitely see. I do like Bryson Washington a lot. He probably won't get drafted because, I mean, it's another deep running back draft. But out of Baylor, man, Bryson Washington, it's a name to hold. Great college running back. Great one. And, I mean, we could go in the direction of a wide receiver again, get another guy. Malachi Fields is very, very 6'4", 223 pounds. Very intriguing right there. Kevin Coleman, too, and Skylar Bell. All right, we are up. We are up here. Still got Jacob Rodriguez. We're not going to worry about linebacker here. We got an offensive tackle already. We're going to worry about a quarterback later if we even do want to draft one. Kalen Rutledge is also a intriguing guy there. We're not going to go there, actually. D lineman, I don't think we need to worry about that. Linebacker, we can get someone later. I think we're going to stack up and get another wide receiver, or we don't need to worry about tight ends again. You only need one of them. I guess I should look at the safeties. Devin Neal out of Virginia, the big Kansas guy for a while there. Yeah, that was a big name at Kansas. I know Bishop Fitzgerald, Michael Taff. Yeah, hey, this is maybe another safety. Let me look at the corners, see if any names stick out there. Jermaine Matthews, another Tennessee kid that transferred to Ohio State. He had a great year. Christian Gray is also a good option. Great option. Really good with zone. Dang, this is tough. This is real tough because you could go Skylar Bell because he just had a heck of a season with UConn, an absolute just crazy season with them. Yeah, we have 3 picks left. I think right here, let me go to the big board here. Kalen Rutledge really sticks out at the offensive guard position. I do like Lander Barton. I do. He's a fast kid, I think, for linebacker, 4.540. Yeah. 6'5", 236 pounds. I like Lander. And honestly, I don't see anyone right now that could change my mind on it. Lander Barton, we're going to get our linebacker out of the way here. Boom. Linebacker of the future, people. We drafted 138 there. Now we're going to 161. All right. Got a little bit of weight. There goes Eric Rivers and Skylar Bell, 2 wide receivers. Let's decide where we're going to go before this ends here. Eric McAllister, that's a big name, receiver out of TCU. Yeah, big name there. I wonder what quarterbacks are left. You got Luke Altmaier, Diego Pavia here, Kevin Jennings. Yeah, you're not going to reach that low for a quarterback. I mean, Trinidad Chambliss, he just got his letter of acceptance or whatever back for another season, I'm pretty sure, or whatever that means. I forget. Aaron Anderson is a speedster guy out of LSU. This could be fun. This could be real fun. I mean, we saw the Lions game, Jordan Addison take an end around to the end zone. I think this could be really fun with Aaron Anderson. That would be definitely a name to look at, I think, for sure. If it's this late, I wouldn't mind that one bit. Also, Malachi Fields is still there, 6'4", 220-pound receiver. He is great at high pointing the ball. Malachi Fields is. But running backs, you're not probably going to take another one. I have my eye on Sawyer Anderson. If people know me and have talked college football with me, Sawyer Robertson was the number one guy I was so excited to watch this year. I mean, in that Baylor horribly coached team, the dude's throwing for 400 yards every game down your throat. It doesn't matter what team it was. Sawyer Robertson's very intriguing. I'd rather have him than Max Brosmer any day. That's obviously pretty evident now, and anyone could say that after watching Brosmer play, but I mean, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. Right now, I mean, we have 2 picks left. We've covered all of our positions of need. Running back, we even got a tackle, tight end, corner, edge, linebacker, safety. I am going to take Aaron Anderson, speedster, 5'8", 180 pounds. Yeah, so 61 receptions, 884 yards with 5 touchdowns. Ranked 3rd in the SEC in catches and 7th in receiving yards. This guy can be a hidden gem. Aaron Anderson, boom. Pulled for him a little bit. He wasn't rated that high where he should have gone for sure. All right, we got one more pick, and then we are wrapping up. And it's going to be a while. It's going to be a long while. Yeah, I wonder, or is there a way to skip to mine? I don't think there is. We'll just wait. Yeah, either way, going through the picks again. Again, we'll go through everything here we did here. First, we traded with Buffalo. That was the Jordan Addison trade. Traded down. So first, we took our first-round pick, Avion Terrell, corner from Clemson. They're giving that an A-. I like that. Chris Brazzell, after a trade down, we traded down to 37, and we got him. So a wide receiver that should be competing for that wide receiver 3 spot with Ty Felton. Chris Brazzell, high pointing balls left and right. He's a tall, fast receiver. I love a good, tall, fast receiver. I mean, look at Julio Jones. Look at these guys active on the line. They can put a dude down with lowering the shoulder. And this guy can too. Dylan Theinman out of Oregon. This is, I think, probably our best pick. Getting him right where he was at 48, right where he was supposed to go. This one I'm excited about too. Jadarian Price. Getting him at 61. Kind of that 1B, you could say, to Jeremiah Love there at Notre Dame. Great receiving back too, but this guy's a speedster. He's fast. You're kind of going to have your David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs duo that the Lions have with a fast guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. And then a David Montgomery and Jordan Mason, who can run through guys on 3rd down. But then you got Romello Height, Eli Stowers, pass-catching tight end. This guy's great. Cage Casey, Lander Barton, Aaron Anderson, a speedster receiver. Also, Lander Barton, I'm super excited about. He's a big-bodied linebacker. I think he's 6'5", 220 pounds, I think it said. It's a fun one for sure. It's definitely a fun one. Right now, they're getting down to it, though. We got our last pick coming up. Definitely a lot of ways we could go here if we draft a QB, maybe Baron Morton, maybe a Miller Moss. I am not drafting Diego Pavia with my life. I hate that guy. He is just he's a weirdo in many different ways. Where's our last pick? I thought it was 38. Oh, 244. I thought it was 238. That's my fault. We are coming up right now. What do we go here? I think you probably just take the best available. I mean, Mikhail Boley. Yeah. I feel like later rounds you do pick guys that could have some good uptick and maybe a diamond in the rough here. I really don't know a lot of these guys I'm going through now, but I just want to see if there's a one that stands out for length aspect in the corner position, because it stinks with Kyrie Jackson, but I love a tall, fast, and lengthy defensive back, which I don't think I'm going to get them. These guys don't have anything writ up on them right now. Either way, I love a lengthy. I just love it. It's perfect. But interior offensive line, maybe you get a diamond right here. We're going to take Mikhail Boley. And that is going to wrap up our draft. I think it'll give us a grade here at the end of it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I cannot wait to do more of these. I hope everyone's enjoying and kind of sticking the way through the video here, because that was a lot of fun to make and a lot of fun to do. We may have gotten a little bit too cute with the trades early on, but that we got the guys that we wanted, in my opinion. We ended up making a total, and actually, I think our results are going to be right here. Yeah, these are each round. Team draft grades, the Bengals get an A, so we're okay. We're sitting right at 8 in the league. Average value 8.6 with our 10 picks. We went into the draft with 10 picks, and we came out with 10 picks based on trades and other things. Yeah, a lot of good picks here. We end with Avion Terrell, Chris Brazel, Dylan Theinman, Jadarian Price, Romello Height, Eli Stowers, Cage Casey, Lander Barton, Aaron Anderson, and Mikhail Boley. Some guys that might come up later, and some guys that should easily get some time in their first year playing. 100%. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. There is your team. All right. This team, if this was how the Vikings went about their offseason, I would love our chances next year. The Vikings have a very doable schedule, but actually going over the roster for the very end right now, quarterback, you are sticking with J.J. McCarthy. Running back, you have Jadarian Price and Jordan Mason for a 1-2 punch. Love it. That's phenomenal. Wide receivers, I think Brazel would beat out. I think he would definitely beat out Ty Felton. I think 100% he would. He's such a more active receiver than Felton is. Felton's a bunch of yak after the reception. Either way, your receivers would be Justin Jefferson, Jalen Naylor, and then Chris Brazel, and then Ty Felton. I love that group right there. And then your tight ends, you're going in with obviously Josh Oliver, Ben Sims, and Eli Stowers. I'm assuming Eli would get either the 1 or 2 spot, Josh Oliver being your main tight end in the run game, blocking. Eli is that TJ Hawkinson type player when TJ was in the Lions. Huge guy. He can break tackles. Now TJ really can't do that, and that's why we got rid of him. Your offensive line stays the same. You get guys that could be a bunch of backups. You get that swing in free agency. And then you get a few guys in the draft here. But obviously Christian Darrisaw, Donovan Jackson, and then you would probably go in with Juergens for center, which right now I wouldn't be upset about because the rest of your line would be very good. Will Fries and then Brian O'Neill going in. Going to the defensive side of the ball, your defensive line stays the exact same, except you don't have Javon Hargrave. I mean, we did get Romello Height here, which he could maybe see some time, but I wouldn't put money on it. We're so deep there with Grenard, Ginkle, and Dallas Turner. So Height, he would be the 4th guy, or maybe even the 5th, maybe behind a Gabe Murphy, but definitely something to think about there. And definitely maybe a guy that we may have drafted a bit too early, maybe could have got someone else, Height, but it's the value, and it's not skipping a guy that could be a great player. It's not getting too cute, even though I may have got too cute in this draft in it. Either way, linebackers, as I just hit my mic and almost ruin it. The linebackers you'd go in with are Eric Wilson, Blake Cashman, and then Lander Barton here, who you drafted, 6'5" linebacker, just a beast. Your secondary, I would love. Obviously, Harry Hitman's gone, but your starting safeties would be Jay Ward, Josh Metellus, and then right here would be Mr. Dylan Theinman. He would get time. He's a big hitter, very active. I mean, it's a great pick, and I would love to get him at 48. So you could get that going for you, and then your corner room: Byron Murphy, Isaiah Rogers, Avion Terrell, and then I signed Benjamin St. Juste in the free agency window. There it is. Vikings offseason blueprint. We're going to have more of these, hopefully with more episodes with Jack and Trevor in the future, but that was a lot of fun. And again, like I said at the top of the episode, it'll be kind of a different theme every time. This is exactly how I would do it. We might do an episode where we all kind of just agree on it and how we would all do it, kind of as a collective thing, but this was exactly how I would do the Vikings offseason. I love it. It would work out so well. You'd be going in with a fantastic roster, in my opinion. And you'd be right where you kind of were this year, money wise. You'd be probably $30-40 million in like negative cap space, but going into next year, it wouldn't really affect a lot. You would be with the contracts with the Jalen Naylor 3 years deal that we signed with him. He would be probably, I think the cap going into 2027 would be like 50 million above. So it would be in a good spot. Either way, we can get to more statistics. Other offseason blueprints, we'll probably release one of these every 2 weeks. And also whenever these analysts and other more notable people who actually know the players personally and everything, once they release some mock drafts, we'll be going through there. We'll be seeing who they got the Vikings drafting at 18. But Vikings, my big thing, get Brian Flores back, trade Jordan Addison, and get that second first-round pick, because you saw exactly what I could do with that. I turned one first-round pick that we had into 2, and then I turned that second first-round pick into 3 second-rounders, which is very far possible. Definitely possible for any team that wants to trade into the first round. Anyway, Twin City Sports Talk. I'm Bruce Kramer. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, go follow on the Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, and YouTube. Keep this thing growing. We're doing well. It's a lot of fun. And I will see you guys again tomorrow.